Hello and welcome to my tutorial for A Touch Plus. My name is Carlos Badio and today we'll be making a tutorial to learn how to composite a few elements from still pictures and a vanishing point and also a neon effect, which I'm aware that there was a tutorial here not so long ago about how to create a neon effect and it was really good, but my technique to do it is simpler, faster, and not so much realistic, but may work for different projects. So it's good that you have a different technique, and let's do a quick preview of what we're gonna be making. And that's it. Alright, so let's start the tutorial. First, I'm going to show you how to import a vanishing point into After Effects. You may know this, may have seen it before, but just as a quick reminder, just click right click here, select Import Vanishing Point, and you get this folder, and inside the folder there are all the pictures and a file named road, in this case .vpe. Just click OK with this file and everything will be imported to your comp, your project. There will be a folder created with the name road VP with all the files in it, and also a composition that we'll double click right now. And everything inside this comp is already in 3D space. You can see here everything is 3D and everything is tied to this parent that will allow us to move everything, and also a camera is created. So right now just select the parent, hit W to rotate and do it in the Z axis so everything gets positioned correctly. Oops. Yeah, like that. Alright, and now let's set the keyframes for both the start and end positions of our camera. So just drop here, transform, and set a keyframe for point of interest, position, and orientation, like that. Close this and hit U to reveal the keyframes in case we want to edit them. Now hit C twice to reveal this dolly tool and just move on until we get the first position, which is quite close to the floor layer, somewhere around that. Should be good. Right, now hit C again a few times to get the camera pan tool and just pan until this road line is very close to the camera, something like that. Alright, maybe not that much. Yeah, something like this. Now let's move forward 6 seconds. Actually, this composition is 30 seconds by default, so I'm going to right click here and make it 10 seconds long. That's the length of our whole thing. Let's go to 6 seconds where we're going to place the keyframes for the ending position of the cam. So zoom back like this, even away, something like that. And now let me hit C again to change the orientation of the camera a little bit, like this. Whoops, sorry. And then just pan again to some position like that. Make sure to try to respect the horizon line as much as possible. Right now it's too weird. And do not worry if some white shows up, because this comp is already bigger than the final comp we want. So it's alright, we can take some extra space there if we need to. So keep adjusting position. Maybe let's lower this to half so we can preview it better. And when we get something like this, it means it's correct. Maybe zoom in a little bit. and something like that should do. Alright, now let's select all these keyframes and make them right click, select keyframe assistant easy. Sorry you didn't saw that, but I'm sure you know how to do it. So now we have this smooth movement with the camera moving back and up in a smooth move. Alright, next thing we want to do is add the sky to the background. So this is going to be in the same comp, just get the sky from open footage, which is a great site, and drag it to the background. Now let's make this 3D too, and you see it's pretty small here. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to change the scale, hit S, and get this to 2500, which is quite a big file. But don't worry, because we're going to press P and send it to the back of the picture, something like that. And we could just type a very big, sorry again, we could just type a very big number here. But that should do. Yeah, around there. Now, hit W and rotate this 180 degrees. And now move it, probably pressing Shift to move it faster. And try to adjust this so no green shows up and everything looks okay. And I'm guessing something like that should do right now. Okay, so we have here the sky in place. Now let's add the only thing left, which is the sign provided. Alright, get the sign in place, make it 3D too, and we'll leave the scale at 100%, but just hit P and simply move this towards the camera. Again, press Shift for faster movement, something like this. Should do. Yeah, and now let's correct the position. Whoops, that was too much. Correct the position to the right. Maybe not that close to the camera. And of course we can adjust this again in a few moments when we make this, when we put this comp in the final comp, in the final result composition. So I guess something like this may be okay, I'm not really sure. We're gonna make sure right now. We're gonna click here, make a new composition, and we're gonna make this 1280 720 pixels, and let's name this composite. Hit OK, and we have this new comp, and we're gonna drag here the road VPE. So we get this, and 6 seconds later, this picture here, which looks very good. I'm very happy with where I placed the sign, but of course probably you'll have to, I don't know, maybe tweak it a bit if you're not happy or whatever. I think it's the first time that I got it right. So just go back to road and move this a little bit so it looks the way you want. Fine. Now let's set again keyframes for position, because as you can see this layer is way bigger than our comp, and that is good because we can play with it and, for example, set a keyframe here at 6 seconds, remember, for the ending position, and then we'll go to the beginning, and you see here the mountains do this weird thing where they break cap, but we can just hide it doing this, which is very cool and very useful. And do not forget to set this keyframe to easy ease again, so the move is very smooth. Fine, we have the whole movement in place, and now let's make it look better. First, let's go back to road VPE, and for example, we're gonna set this camera, we're gonna make it, double click it and activate the depth of field for it. So we get something like this, and actually I'm gonna increase the aperture up to around 100.5, something like that. hit OK, and also I'm going to go to camera options. Oh, the aperture is too high actually. Let's lower it. That's what should be in 100.5. Sorry, my mistake. Around there, and also change the focus distance to something around that 10,500, something like this will do. Maybe increase the aperture to 200. Something like that. Not too much. Way too much. Excuse me. No, something like that's good. Around 200. Also, you may notice that here there's lines between the vanishing point layers appearing here, and this kind of break our illusion. So the solution for this, actually, the explanation for this is that this layer behind them makes them look brighter, and I don't know why exactly, but they show up. So a quick solution will be creating a new solid. Black solid's okay, make it comp size, hit OK, and we'll place this just above our sky, and we're gonna delete the visibility for it. Actually, like, yeah, just hit the eye, and we're gonna make a mask with the pen tool, and this mask is gonna cover all the lines like that. So just go there and make sure to go to the limit like this, and just cover every line that there is. Actually, we should be doing this at the beginning because it kind of changes. So again, let me adjust this. Something like that. Fine. Just make sure to cover everything. Alright. And now let's zoom out. Let's go to this layer, toggle switches, and let's set the matte to alpha matte black solid. Oops, actually no, alpha inverted matte. And this will cause the this layer to show just what we need. So it will eliminate these white lines between the vanishing point layers. So actually we have to animate this mask, so just hit M, make a keyframe for the mask path, hit U to rebuild the keyframe, and move forward 6 seconds. Yep, and as you can see we have to adjust this. So go around there. Oops. And set the new keyframes. Photo mask. Now it's easier, of course, because we got the sign in place, and it kind of hides our mistakes everywhere. Great. So that's how it looks right now. Very good. And this is our result. Alright, now let's go and do the neon effect that I said, which is maybe not as good as the other one, but it's quicker and always an alternative. It's good for you, so just, what's this? Make a new comp, and we'll name this neon, and all the settings are alright. Hit OK, and in this comp we're gonna grab the text tool, hit Command or Control T, and just right here, Motel. Perfect. When we have it, place it around the center, and just select the layer, go to Layer, Auto Trace, and now play with the settings. Maybe you want to get some blur in it. I like a little bit of blur. This makes the the lines are curvier, and it's good. And just hit OK. As I said, experiment with the settings. What you want is a mask that goes around all the text, and when you're happy, hit OK, and we get this new layer which contains a few masks. Let's see them. A few masks with all the text traced. So let's select them, let's change the view color to blue so we can see them better. And also let's double hit M, and let's lower the opacity down to 0, because we don't need the content of the masks. What we need is the trace. So let's go to effects and presets, and let's add an effect called Vegas, which is also, yeah. And then let's apply this effect. Perfect. And what this effect does is creating a contour around the mask, but we have to set here mask path. Select mask 1, and you may see here now in Motel we have a few lines, small lines around the O, and you can do a few different things with this effect, but right now we're going to lower the segments down to 1. Whoops. So we get something, and I'm going to increase the width so you can see it better. Yeah, something like this. And also we're going to make the midpoint opacity 1000, like that, and we're gonna move the midpoint position around there. And this kind of looks like the neon tube when and this looks like the part of the neon where it goes inside to make a connection, something like that. Maybe not much here now, but wait a few seconds. So let's make this smaller so it looks more like a neon tube. Yeah, something like this. Midpoint, maybe there. Yeah, that's good. Alright, and now that we have this, simply duplicate this Vegas effect, and now we have Vegas 2 and apply it to mask 2. Duplicate again, Vegas 3, mask 3. Duplicate again with controller command D, and mask 4 again, command D, mask 5 for Vegas 5, and again Vegas 6, mask 6. And now we have all the masks with Vegas effect. Also, you can just change the rotation here. I want to check it here. If we change the rotation, you see this L starting point moves. So maybe for realism purpose, you can just tweak the rotation for some layers, for some effects like that. Maybe it's good to you. For example, here at the O, we may want to tweak this one so to offset the starting point of these two layers. Fine. Alright, now that we have this, simply duplicate this auto trace Motel layer, and we have another one the same, and let's make it smaller, something like that. And when you have it, just go mask by mask. So let's make them, whoops, we can see them. Let's go mask by mask, just putting them in position, something like this, and then tweaking all the keyframes so the mask appears to be a smaller version of the bigger one, something like that. And let me do one for you so you can see what I mean exactly. Oh, I don't know why I chose the M, which is probably the most difficult one. Yeah, very clever from me. Anyways, just move it like this. Neon hardly, real life neon, I mean, it's hardly perfect. And by that I mean that you can make some mistakes or some irregularities, and it will also look good, I think. Maybe have a different opinion, which I respect, but I think neon sometimes has weird lines or something, and it's good if you respect those. I don't know, depends on the effect you're trying to get. And mine is a dirty Motel road sign, so probably has some bad neon around. Alright, the M doesn't look too perfect, I must admit it. Maybe my excuse was too bad, which, anyways. Well, you get the idea of making a smaller version inside. That's enough. Now let's get the mask 1 and do exactly the same. With the O is quite easier actually. Mask 2, same, just place it there. Let's go to, whoops, mask 3, and again let's place this there, and then just there. Alright, and this is, you can do this as much perfect as you want. I'm trying to go a bit fast, although I know I'm not actually achieving it. So anyways, let's do the E fast, if we can. Something, actually it's pretty difficult too. Oh my god. Yeah, something like this. Because it's not exactly changing just the scale of the mask, it's also changing its shape. So unfortunately it doesn't work by stretching or scaling it. It's not exactly what we want. Number 6. Let's finish this. Let's get this over. Let's place this there, and there. And that should do. Alright, let's zoom out to see the result. Fine, I like it. I love it actually. I put too much effort in it. And let's close this, hitting M, and let's pre-compose these 2 layers, the 2 auto traces. Select layer, pre-compose, and move all attributes. Hit OK. And actually, let's name these traces. Alright, and let's apply here some glow. Yeah, some glow to the traces. And just play with the settings. Actually, let's hit here. Play with the settings until you're satisfied with the result we're trying to achieve here. Some neon glow, which is not very big, not too much radius, like quite a big intensity. Alright, and then duplicate this traces layer again and delete the glow and actually tint it. Oops, tint, yeah, color correction tint, and tint it and map black to, whoops, actually, excuse me, map black to white. So everything's mapped to white, and here at the blending mode select add. So we get something like this, maybe lower the opacity a bit. Yeah, something like this, much more realistic. Alright, so we have the Motel sign in here, and I like to keep the original text behind because it makes it look like a shade or some kind of contrast, so well, play with it. And let's go to composite. Actually, let's go to road, go to sign and pre-compose the sign, go into layer, pre-compose, and leave all attributes. Let's name this road sign. Whoops, yeah, sounds right. Road sign, hit OK, leave all attributes and everything will look the same, but now you can just click on the sign and we'll go here where we'll place the neon and we'll do some color correction for this sign. So first the color correction, actually, let's apply some tint to, and we'll get this down to 40 something, 43 for example, and then some curves which will first give a little bit of contrast here, lower, actually not contrast, the opposite, like this, and let's go to the red channel and just get rid of some of this big red chunk in here. So something like that. Yeah, and then again green channel, where we get rid of this green here that appeared. Yep, and then in the blue channel again some tweaking. Yeah, I like it this way. Now let's go to project, find neon, and just drag it in here. So we get this glowing sign, and make it 3D to adjust it much more easily. Just move it up, rotate, hitting W, like this. Just try to match the perspective. Also you can push it back in the Z-axis. Yeah, something like that should do. Now I have the motel in place, and also you can add again some glow to it. Yeah, maybe not that bright. I don't know, we'll tweak this later. Alright, the motel here, and also let's add the AUTouch sign, and we'll make this look like a sticker. So come here and change the blending mode from the sign to soft light. Yeah, something like this, and rotate it there. And now let's apply the effect called Ruffin Edges. And for the first one, we're going to do we're going to increase the border, also increase the scale, and maybe even more border. Alright, something like that. So it looks like an old sticker. And then duplicate these Ruffin Edges. Again, Command or Control D, and select photocopy. And make this big enough until it's faded, but not that much where you cannot see the text. So something like this. Maybe tint. Again, a little bit of tint to make this blend better. Let's tint it like that. Now let me adjust this, maybe lower the scale of the first. Or actually make it bigger. Yeah, looks better bigger. Alright, so we have these AUTouch, maybe a little bit more tint. Yeah, something like this. Looks good to me. So let's go back to Road VPE, where it looks good. And actually, we have to change. I think we didn't do it. Yeah, we left this before. We have the keyframe. We have to set a keyframe for the depth of field. So the focus distance. Set a keyframe here. And actually, I don't want this that blurred. So around 150, maybe more. 170 looks good. Do not worry about this showing up. Remember, this composition is bigger than the final one. And now move forward to 6 seconds and change this. Actually, we want to have the whole focus on the sign, so let's move to top camera view, zoom back, and here we can see this is actually the sign. You can say it here. This is the sign, and this is the camera, and this is the focus distance. So let's set a keyframe for a focus distance, which we have. Let's get it down until we focus on the sign, like this. Perfect. Maybe not that perfect, will be better. Yeah, nothing's perfect in life. Alright, and now also let's add a new adjustment layer, and we'll add a slider control. Why? to control a little bit of wiggle, we're going to apply it to the camera. So let's go back to the active camera view, and you may have to zoom in or out, yeah, like this. And we're gonna hit P for position, and I'll click the stopwatch to get the expression box, and here we'll write wiggle, wiggle, open parenthesis, and let's write 1 for second, so 1 second, and here, actually, let's go there, let's lock this, and wiggle 1, comma, and pick whip this value. Now, close parenthesis, and we're done. So, at the beginning, we want to set a keyframe for this. Let's unlock it. We want to set a keyframe for this at the value of 50, and at the end, we want to set a keyframe with the value of 10. Yeah. Something like that. Alright, let's go to composite where we have a problem. Alright, maybe lower a little bit this value. Will do. I don't know. Actually, this is not wiggling. I don't know. Well, play with the settings that work for you. And now, yeah, placing it at 6, it seems to work. And here, maybe we'll lower it down to 3. I don't know. Last time I checked, it was 50, but might have changed. I don't know. So, something like this until we get to the motel sign. And what else we can do? Some color correction. So just pick the curves. And apply some curves to it. And what we're gonna do is some less contrast again, like this. As for the red channel, we're gonna make an S to get some like day for night look, a little bit wash out, yeah, something like this. And the green channel, we're gonna increase it a little bit, just like that. And the blue channel is going to correct this whole thing like this. Alright, I like this look. Of course, make whatever you want. And also we're gonna make a new solid and make it black, name it vignette, hit OK, and again double click this mask, round mask here, set it to subtract, double hit M to reveal the controls, and let's increase the feathering and increase the expansion too. Something like that, that looks good to you. Maybe I'll change the blending mode of the vignette to linear burn, which doesn't make much difference, but a little bit maybe. And that's it. We're done. We have this beginning at the floor, very defocused, and then we move back with the sky and the sign and the motel. And if you want this motel neon to just wiggle a little bit, like flickering, you can always go to neon, go to traces, and for the opacity of this, for example, the start opacity, just select the layer, for example, I don't know, Vegas, on this layer, Vegas 4, and go to, I don't know, midpoint, no, start opacity of Vegas 4. So I'll click the stopwatch and select wiggle 4 times a second. I don't know, like 5 and something like that. Alright. Actually, doesn't seem to work. Oh, because I forgot 1G. because wiggle has two G's actually. Yeah. So it should do something a little bit flickering like that. So you can do this with any layer you want, maybe increase a little bit the rhythm, so maybe more 6 times a second. And let's do a quick round preview. And if you do that with some layers, maybe animated using slider control, and you can do whatever you want with the modal sign. Alright, so just render composite, and here you are, your Motel composition with zoom out and vanishing point. I hope you liked the tutorial, and you can always drop by my website carlosbadio.com and just see some of my work and maybe drop a comment or two if you like what I do. Thank you again, thanks for watching, and see you next time.